In this lecture, we'll be looking at the abductor pollicis longus. Let's try and use this image by the side to describe where this muscle is located. This is where we have this muscle here, arrowed in yellow. This muscle is abductor because it abducts, and it is pollicis because it exerts the absorption of the thumb, which is also referred to as the pollicis. And it is longus because it is a long muscle. Right on with me, we'll be highlighting the details behind origin and insertion point of this muscle, and also highlighting some other important details that you should know as students of anatomy. The abductor pollicis longus is a long, deep muscle that is located in the posterior compartment of the forearm. And this is what is harrowed there at this point. If we go back to our previous lecture on the muscles in the posterior region of the forearm, we highlighted that in that region we have a total of 12 muscles. While 7 of these muscles are superficially placed, 5 of them are deeply embedded. If we try to use this image at this lower head, this is where we have the muscles here around the deep layer. And at this superior region, we have the supinator. Don't forget that the supinator is one of the deeply embedded muscles within the posterior compartment of the forearm. The supinator is not seen to also cross through the wrist. It is seen to be suspended around the upper region of the posterior region of the forearm. Well, if you go more inferiorly, we have the remaining 4 muscles. And at this point that is harrowed at this lateral edge is where we have the abductor pollicis longus. And this is the focus of this lecture. If you go more medially to this muscle, we have the extensor pollicis brevis, and this is what is harrowed in dotted green. If you also go more medially to this muscle, we then have the longus version of this muscle, which is the extensor pollicis longus. If you look at these 3 pollicis muscles, you see that they are inserted on the tongue, and this is why they are so referred to as pollicis. Then if you go to the most medial region around this compartment, you have the extensor indicis, and this is what is also harrowed in green. So in total, we have 5 muscles embedded within the deep compartment of the forearm. This muscle we already highlighted that is seen to exert the abduction of the thumb. It is also important that we had that the 3 pollicis are inserted on the thumb as we initially highlighted. They are also seen to exert the movement on the thumb, and this is why they are so referred to as pollicis. And these are the 3 muscles here carved out at this point. Let's go to the next slide where we'll be describing the details behind the point of origin and insertion of the abductor pollicis longus. This muscle is seen to originate from the posterior proximal half of the radius, the ulna, and also the adjacent interosseous membrane. If you go back to this image on this side, this is where we have the highlights here of the abductor pollicis longus, and this point that is harrowed in blue is the posterior proximal half of the ulna. We know that the ulna is located around the medial side, and we have it also emerging from the adjacent interosseous membrane. The origin of this muscle is also seen to extend to the posterior proximal half of the radius, and this is what is harrowed in blue. And after its emergence from this multiple point, it is seen to be driven inferior-laterally, and this is what is shown here in this image. And towards the wrist, around the distal part, it is also seen to be placed superficially. So you see it superficially placed over the other muscles that are located in the deep layer of the posterior compartment of the forearm. And upon this alignment, they are seen to be finally driven into the first compartment. We know that deep to the extensor retinaculum, we have the creation of 6 compartments. Let's try and use this arrangement to further illustrate this. This structure that is highlighted here in black is the extensor retinaculum, and deep to this region, and of course in between it and also the boning alignment, we have the creation of 6 compartments. We already highlighted that these 6 compartments are created to give the passageway for the different tendons of the extensor muscle. And if you try to put this arrangement in its correct anatomical position, this is the medial side. We know that the ulna is located on the medial side. Well, on this lateral region is where we have the radius. The first compartment is located around the lateral edge, and this compartment gives the passageway for the tendon of the abductor pollicis longus. The abductor pollicis longus tendon is not only seen to pass through the first compartment, it is seen to be accompanied by the tendon of the extensor pollicis brevis. If you go back to our previous slide where we tried to describe the different muscles that are located in the deep compartment of the posterior region of the forearm, Remember, we highlighted that the extensor pollicis brevis is also seen to be positioned medial to the abductor pollicis longus. So due to this relationship, they're also seen to be passing through the first compartment together. And upon this passage, the tendon of the abductor pollicis longus is then seen to access the hand region. And this is where it is then specifically seen to be inserted on the lateral side of the base of the first metacarpal. And this is very important in highlighting the action of this muscle because it is seen to cross through the carpal-metacarpal joints, which of course is the joint that is created between the carpal bones and the metacarpal. We'll be describing this in details as we go through with this lecture. Now let's use this slide to describe the events that occur around the point of insertion. Remember, we already described that the tendon of the abductor pollicis longus is seen to finally insert on the lateral side of the base of the first metacarpal. Lateral here is very important because this is where it is able to exert abduction. Abduction basically is taking the thumb away from the body. And because of its insertion around this lateral edge, when it contracts, it will be taking the thumb truly away from the body. This is the primary site of insertion. It is also seen to have secondary sites where the tendon of this muscle inserts upon. So it is seen to create multiple slits where it will be inserted on the trapezium bone. If you go back to this image, this is where we have the insertion point here around the trapezium. Don't forget that the trapezium is one of the carpal bones, and it is seen to be located around this lateral edge. They may also be seen to be inserted on the other surrounding structures, and this include the Abductor pollicis, and this is what is highlighted here at this point. It may also be seen to insert on the Abductor pollicis brevis, and this is what is also highlighted here at this point. The Abductor pollicis brevis is a brevis version of the Abductor pollicis longus, and this is one of the muscles that are located in the hand region, one of the intrinsic muscles of the hand. We'll also be creating another lecture on this muscle, so please do watch out for this. It may also be seen to be inserted on the fascia of the tinea eminence. So we have multiple sites where this muscle can be inserted upon, even though it has its own primary site of insertion. Now let's look at the relations of this muscle. In relation to the other muscles that are located in the deep layer, we see that at this upper edge, we have the supinator. We already described this in our previous slide. We said that the supinator with the other four muscles at this lower edge constitutes the muscles that are located in the deep layer of the posterior compartment of the forearm. So if you go more inferiorly, we have the Abductor Pollicis Longus, and this is located around the lateral edge. So it is seen as the most laterally placed muscle. While if you go to the medial side of this muscle, we have the Extensor Pollicis brevis. If you go more medially, we then have the Extensor Pollicis Longus. And this is what is also heralded at this other end. We say that the three pollices are inserted on the thumb, and this is why they are so referred to as pollices. And because they are inserted on the thumb, they exert their effect on the first digit, which of course is the thumb. Then finally, we have the extensor indicis, and this is what is heralded at this other end. The extensor indicis is the most medially placed muscle within the deep layer of the posterior compartment of the forearm. And it is important that we highlight this in case you come across questions related to it in our examination. It is also important that we had at this point that the tendon of the Abductor Pollicis Longus is seen to form the lateral border of the anatomical snub box. The anatomical snub box is a triangular impression that is created around the tongue, and this is what is highlighted here in red. And this is where we have the tendon of the Abductor Pollicis Longus creating the lateral border of this impression. It is also important that we have at this point that the tendon of the Extensor Pollicis brevis is also seen to create an alignment around this lateral border. Well, if you go on the medial side of this impression, we have the tendon of the Extensor Pollicis Longus, and this is what is already in dotted yellow. You see that the three pollices, even though they are inserted on the thumb, and which of course is why they are referred to as pollices, they are seen to create an impression around the thumb region. This anatomical snub box can also be referred to as radial fossa. Now let's look at the actions of the abductor pollicis longus. The abductor pollicis longus, from driving through the name, it is seen to abduct the tongue. So if there's contraction of the abductor pollicis longus, it is going to exert the effect of taking the tongue away from the body, which of course is referred to as abduction. It is also seen to extend the tongue, and this extension is specifically created at the carpometacarpal joint. We already also described this during the course of this lecture. If we go back to the point of insertion of this muscle, we say that it is primarily inserted on the lateral surface of the base of the first metacarpal. And if the insertion is at this point, it means it will be crossing over the carpometacarpal joint between the carpals and also the metacarpal. And this is why it is able to exert extension of the tongue around the specific joint. So this is where we have the carpal region, and inferiorly to this region is where we have the metacarpal. In between these two structures is where we have the carpometacarpal joint. And because it is crossing over this joint, it will be exerting effect on it. It is also seen to exert the extension of the wrist, and this is because it crosses also over the wrist. Now let's look at the innervation and the blood supply of the abductor pollicis longus. The abductor pollicis longus is seen to be innervated by the radial nerve. Don't forget that the radial nerve has a superficial branch and a deep branch. The deep branch is seen to further give emergence to the posterior interosseous nerve, and this is what is highlighted here at this lower head, and this is what is seen to provide innervation for this muscle. The abductor pollicis longus is seen to be supplied by the posterior interosseous artery. This artery is an emergence from the common interosseous, which of course emerges from the ulnar artery. Let's quickly look at clinical anatomy. Let's look at Deguavin syndrome. This can also be referred to as Deguavin synovitis. And this occurs when there is an overstretch of the tendons that are located in the first compartment. During the course of this lecture, we already highlighted that within the first compartment, we have the tendon of the abductor pollicis longus, which of course is accompanied by the tendon of the extensor pollicis brevis. So where there is an injury to this tendon, it can lead to an overstretch of this tendon, and this will lead to pain around the radial side of the wrist. So thanks for watching this video. Bye.